What's up, guys? I thought I'd do another video breaking down the upgrades I've done to my bike because the last one I made was like 9 months ago. However, in this video I won't be covering the gear I use, so if you're curious about that, you can check out that video. I'll link it in the description. My gear is all the same, my helmet's the same, and my knee pads are the same. The only difference is these gloves, they're hand-up co. I got the America version, but they're hand-up co, they're super breathable, they're really good quality. That's the only really gear item I've gotten. But I've done a lot of upgrades, so I want to tell you guys about that. First and foremost, my bike is a specialized Rockhopper. It's a 27.5 inch. It's just the basic model of a Rockhopper. I know around Christmas, you could have gotten it around $400. I'm not really sure what it is now. I can put that up in an image, but let's get into all the upgrades I've done. Upgrades. Okay, so I kind of want to go in order of what I did to the bike, just so you guys have an idea. And I'm going to list my top 3 at the end, so stay tuned if you want to know what I think is the best for the value and the best for the quality of the ride. So the first upgrade I did is a chain stray pad. This is just race face. I can throw up the Amazon. I feel like it was probably overpriced. I can't really remember. But the only reason I'm calling this an upgrade is because this bike did not come with a chain stray guard. And I felt like I should probably get it if I was going to pay for the bike. So I did get this Velcro one. Now it isn't actually quite big enough. I zip tied it so it wouldn't fall off. But it has been on the bike for probably 8 months or so, and it's doing fine. I mean, you can get literally any chain stray you want. I think they're pretty much all going to work. The second upgrade I did was these race face Chester pinned pedals. These are amazing. If you're getting a bike and it has just the stock plastic pedals, man, what are you doing? These are awesome. I know the bolts are a little rusty, but you can replace them, and really it's not affecting anything. I believe these are around $30. They are worth that. They're so much better. And especially if you compare it with some shoes like these Specialized methods, where the bottom of the shoes really like locks in place to these pedals. It's great. The next upgrade I did is a pretty crucial one if you're doing longer rides or get really thirsty in the heat of the summer. This is a Pro Bike Tools water bottle holder. Works perfect. Again, you can probably just buy any one of these. I think this was $8, literally. And it's definitely worth it. I really like this. Now, the next upgrade is where we get into a little bit more expensive. Maxxis tires. Now, I actually went with downhill front and rear for this bike because I wanted a tubeless setup, and it just made sense. Do I ride downhill? No. But do they work great? Yes. Are they heavy? They are a little bit heavy, but I think they're definitely worth it. I did put a tubeless setup. I used PD's tubeless setup. I'll put a little picture of it. I used that to set these up. Worked great. And they've lasted probably 4 months or so. I've had them. They're great. I hardly have to refill them with air. And here's the front wheel. Super nice, super grippy. Only thing is they are a little bit heavy. Gotta have the American stem cap on here. I mean, what are we doing if we don't have it? Matches the gloves. So now we get to the grips. These are half Nelson race face grips. Super nice. They are really skinny. That's kind of preference. I prefer skinnier grips. Some people like bigger grips. They're very nice. I have 2 upgrades left to show you guys, and you could see in the whole video. You probably know what they are. Dropper post and suspension. I'll start with the dropper post. This is an Exoform dropper post. I'll put the Amazon right there. It was around $109, and I've always said I'm not going to get a dropper post, but it got to the point where, yeah, I think it would be worth it to have it on my bike. Is it a necessary upgrade? No. I would definitely do pedals and tires, maybe even set up tubeless grips before you do a dropper post. it's not necessarily necessary for the bike build. However, quality of ride, it does make so much better because you just set it up and you can just drop it down whenever you want with your lever and just ride without having to ever get off your bike to change the seat position. But is it necessary? No. And the next one, I know I said I had 2 left. I actually had more than that because I forgot. I have SRAM NX. I want to say these are called Eagles. I'll put the Amazon right there for these. And, ooh, that's grease. As I was saying, these are SRAM NX. I believe they're called Eagles or something. It's a crankset, very fitting for my bike. Now, the stock crankset wasn't messed up. That's not why I changed it. I actually changed it because I wanted a 1x over here. So that's how many of these little discs you have. The bike came stock with 2x. And if for the dropper post and for my suspension lockout, which I'll talk about in a minute, 2x was not going to work. It was way too many levers on the actual handlebar. So I switched to 1x. These are SRAM. I wanted to get a legit brand, and they're working great. I mean, there's no complaints. I think they're around $100. They're definitely worth it if you're wanting a crankset. I don't know anything if cheaper cranksets are worth the money or not. Now, the final upgrade, and the big one, Sir Centaur front forks. This is the Epixon. I think that's how you say it. I hope that's how you say it, but they are so nice. So I used to have a coil suspension, which is what this bike comes stock with, and if you have that, I cannot recommend it enough to save up and make the conversion to air forks, because this is an air fork. It is so nice because then you can dial it to your weight and it just makes the riding experience so much better. It feels like the coil shocks weren't doing anything after you use this for a little while. So this particular fork does come with a lockout right here. Super nice. Just click it down. Now it's locked. Click it back. Now it's unlocked. So these forks, I think I might have gotten them on sale. I want to say it was around $250. Definitely expensive. It's like half the bike if you buy it right now. But it was worth it, and I think it was well worth the money as a budget fork already. So now that I've gone over all the upgrades I've done to this bike in the last few months, here's my top 3 upgrades. I'm going to incorporate value and riding experience into this. So number 3 are definitely my tires. Now, the only reason they're at 3 is because they were kind of expensive, coming in around $120, I believe, for both of them, plus the additional fee because I wanted to set up them on tubeless. But they have really changed. I think switching to better tires is an ideal thing. You can do it for much cheaper than I did it. I wanted to get Maxxis. I wanted to get something that would last, but you can definitely do it for cheaper. Number 2 is definitely going to be my suspension. Switching from a coil to an air fork, it makes so much of a difference. They actually feel like they're working, and it really does upgrade your ability to ride, and you're going to progress a lot faster if you have an air fork. The only reason I'm putting at number 2 is because it was the most expensive upgrade out of all of these I did to this bike. If it was cheaper, it would definitely be number 1, but I understand why some people would be hesitant on getting suspension because it's definitely not a cheap upgrade. My number 1 though is a cheap upgrade, and I think you should do it if you have a bike that you haven't done this already. It's the pedals. Get some race face Chesters, get some race face Atlas if you want to spend the extra money. It will really, really help you on your riding, especially if you have shoes like the Specialized Methods or literally gyro jackalopes, something like that. There's multiple different companies that make shoes that work perfectly with these pedals. Do I think you should make all these upgrades to your bike? Completely up to you. Completely up to how much you ride your bike, where you're riding your bike. You know, I set up my bike for the particular trails that I'm doing, but yours might be different. And there's just a lot of factors that go into upgrading your bike. I think the first upgrades you should look at are the pedals, like I said, but maybe even some grips. Let me know in the comments if I helped you, if you want me to go more in depth of an upgrade that I have. You can ask questions about them, how they've lasted me, and just let me know. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I have more videos of mountain biking and everything like that. And I have a video I just posted, last video. I'll link it in the description or put it somewhere, of me biking with my friend Jack. He's who helped me put this all together. I have to give a huge thank you to Jack. If it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't have any of this. And I definitely did. I was the annoying friend and spent like 5 hours talking to him about how in the world I'm supposed to set up suspension. It's not an easy task. Thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you in the future.